And boop. Alright, hello everybody. We are just getting started here. We're going to be playing some more Twitch SMP. For those of you who don't know what Twitch SMP is, it is a content creator server that I am a part of. We are currently going to be working on the big dig a little bit, as well as actually working a little bit on getting some glass smelted, because we've got quite a lot. We've got quite a lot of glass to go. It's a little crazy, but I'm here for it. I am here for it. So hop in, get your free channel points, or not free channel points, submit your taxes, get first, do all the things with your channel points, and we will get going here today. Admiral, congrats on grabbing first. Thank you for submitting your taxes. Hello, hello. And Spicy, hello to the YouTube. How's it going? Hello, hello. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty tired, but I'm chilling. We've been... Got F5. We've been slowly but surely chipping away at this dig here. And we still got a long way to go kind of here, because it's all deep slate, and deep slate takes a long time to dig up. But over here, we're almost done. It just, I think it's 1 or 2 more layers, just from the looks of things, maybe 2. And that's all done. And we can start digging over here, and I might also finish getting up all of the sand today. Now, I'm going to take the sand, and I'm going to actually make like a furnace array over there. So that way we can actually start making some glass. Because you're probably gonna be like... You're gonna understand, okay? You're just gonna understand. I need this much glass. This is roughly like 13 shulker boxes full of just plain glass. So... Yeah. Yeah, we need the sand, we need the glass. Once the sand is all ripped up and we have a flattened surface, then we can start placing some of the glass as well. But by the end of this month, I'm really hoping that I can actually just dig up everything. So I'm hoping that maybe, you know, there may be a little bit of work to still do right now. Like quite a lot really, because we've only gotten almost 2 quadrants completed. Neither of them are fully complete, but each one is pretty close. And then we still have 2 more to go. It's kind of a little scary to think about that, because, you know, we're halfway through the month. We are halfway through the month. But I think with a little bit of focus, we can kind of get through it relatively quickly. We don't have any more water draining to do, which I had to spend a little bit of time doing that myself. We can actually get into building soon. I'm going to start building the dome, and then in between building the dome and building the city underneath the dome, I'm hoping that'll kind of give me some I'm hoping that'll give me kind of some, I guess, what's the term here? I guess I'm hoping that will give me some things to do so that I don't get bored of building, because to build 13 shulker boxes worth of glass for a dome, it is, you know, that's going to take me a while to get rid of and get through. And especially the way I tend to build things, you know, it's going to be like layer by layer. Slowly but surely it's going to get smaller and faster because of that, but it's a long process. Hello, Joy. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. You're tired, Spicy. That's fair. Me too. Hello, Mountain Fear. Welcome on in. Congrats on, or thank you for submitting your taxes. Yes, Admiral already claimed first. He was camping the button. All right. All that said and done. Oops, that is not the button. That is the button. There we go. All that said and done, we do need to go ahead and... Maybe we start with the sand first, because until I have all the shulker boxes I need full of sand, we can't really start the furnace array. So I'm thinking that's what we'll do. Let me see how many more shulkers we need. and then we can get that going. Near 'em. So here we've got, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we need 5 more. So let me take 1, 2, 3, 4. Bless you. Where'd you come from? I'm not even gonna lie, I really want to kill you, and I don't know why. I know exactly why. You're you and I'm me. We just can't get along. That's how our life works. But I'm not gonna kill you. I could, and I probably should, but I won't. I'm breaking the cultural norm, guys. We're not killing the wandering trader. Some people probably would call me a monster for that, but I stand by it. Sorry, I just saw a notification. No worries, Nafan, dude. You're still here really early. First 10 minutes of the stream. GG's, dude. Welcome on in. Who took my first redeem? That would have been my brother. Admiral was pretty quick with it. Let's do. Also, welcome back from the ads, everybody. Hopefully they treated you well. I know they suck, but that's how we keep the pre-rolls away, so that when you guys get into the stream a little later, then you won't get any ads in the middle of all the action. So, I know it sucks. I do. But we have a purpose. Where's my you? Okay. If I can fill up all these shulkers right here, we can start our furnace array and start digging. Now, I don't know if the furnace array is going to be within range of the dig to actually be loaded in. So I may move the furnace array from where I was originally thinking it to be. So that way it's loaded in while we do our work. I don't know. Otherwise, I just need to AFK it a little bit, which isn't a big deal. Because essentially what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make 13 furnaces and put each shulker on top of a hopper and let the hoppers unload the shulkers into the furnaces. And so each furnace will handle up to 27 stacks of the items, and we'll be fine. Oh. Alright, so today, I'm sorry, I've been a little bit quiet. Today I didn't get to do a whole lot. I woke up a little later than what I meant to, which has been an ongoing theme anyway. Yesterday, I guess I should start with yesterday. Yesterday I had my appointment that I've been like talking about for the last couple of weeks, the geneticist. And he was a pretty nice guy. Really does a lot with the EDS field, so it was kind of cool hearing him talk about a lot of that stuff. It's like, huh, interesting. He knows a lot more than what I know, which makes sense. You know, he is a professional, but a lot of people don't know anything about it. So it is such a uncommon thing. So it was good to be able to talk to him about it. He didn't seem to think that that's what I had, but he wants to still do a test to prove whether or not I have it. So we're gonna see if that happens or not, but it's supposed to be way out in October. He also told me I need to go talk to a rheumatologist, which for those of you who don't know, rheumatology just is like your joint doctors. So they, They check you for arthritis, basically. That required me going to my normal doctor to get referred out to another doctor. And then they also need certain blood samples in order to even get into the rheumatologist. So I had to give, I think I gave them 3 of the larger vials of blood with plus 1 small one. We were sat there for a good while waiting for that blood to come out. Like, it was taking its sweet time. But after we finally got it all out, it wasn't a problem. It's just, it took a while. So I gotta go back at some point next week, I think, to see how my numbers are looking and see if they can still get me in to see the rheumatology. Hello, Carlo. Welcome on in. I'm doing well. How about yourself? But yeah, I didn't get to do a whole lot today because I woke up late. Had to hit the doctors really quickly. I didn't hit the doctors, but I went to the doctors. And then, of course, after that, I got home. My parents also got home at the same time as me. They went grocery shopping. That was, so, you know, as any good kid would do, I had to help them unload the groceries. And by the time that was all said and done, I also realized that the next set of samples for merch came in. So I had to finish that video because I had everything prepped for it. I just needed to make sure that the shirts looked good and printed okay. And it looks like they did fine, so that's coming out well. You guys will probably get a video on Saturday, I guess, more than likely. It's nothing too special, but it's a little thing about King SMP Season 1, plus there will be some stuff in Discord posted about it as well, including the shirt design and the world download for that. So if that's something you guys are interested in, Season 1 is coming soon, which means Season 2 will be hopefully next month, if all goes to plan. I just got to work on some more stuff. I've gotten a lot of work done on Omnia. And by Omnia, I don't mean Omnia, I mean the logo for it. It's almost done. Like, I feel like it anyway. There's like, I got the main electrical component pretty much finalized. Now it's just about trying to make a couple of lightning bolts go across it, add some sparks, and then actually properly animate all of those values so that they look right. But it's coming along pretty good. Got to talk to some friends recently. I talked to one friend that I hadn't been able to talk to in forever, it felt like, so that was good. Been a busy couple of days, but it's been a good couple of days. Trying to think what else I got up to. You know, I don't know. Today I'm kind of behind on work, but that's okay. We're still halfway. We still got half of the month left. That's my big thing. Knowing how much time I have is pretty instrumental in making sure I do everything. And I've been trying to keep an eye on the clock so that I understand fully, like, okay, I have this, I have time for that. I should probably rearrange some things here so that I can do this. There are a couple of things that I really probably shouldn't be putting off, but I am. And those are okay. You know, whatever happens with those happens. It will get done eventually. I don't know why I'm so scared. They're not gonna kill me. Like, creepers are pretty much weak sauce compared to my armor. I say that. They still do like half damage. Now, if you're full diamond, I think they might be able to kill you. If you don't have, like, full prot. but I'm fully protectioned in, well, I say fully. I'm still wearing my wings, but you know, I've got full prot on everything that I am currently wearing, and it's all netherite, so I should be able to tank a creeper blast. I would think. Ba-bum. Oh. Trying to... There is, like, one thing that happened yesterday that I'm, like, 100% aware of, and I'm sure you're all 100% aware of, and I do want to say we're not going to talk about that today, probably. I will just kind of throw that out there. That did happen, and yes, that was a part of my day. Whether I wanted it to be a part of it or not, so... that was fun. Fun is not the word I should use there. It was a sarcastic fun. Okay, empty. That's the one. Okay, so full. We got 3 more boxes to go. Good to know. Oh, up. Okay. I think we might actually... Well, we won't eat up all the stand. We'll eat up most of it. I think there might be an extra shulker's worth here. Than what I need. But... that's a good thing, really, because I'm probably going to be making some concrete. So it works out, I think. Oh. Well, yeah, what did you guys get up to yesterday? For those of you who did anything. I know Wednesdays are kind of a nice lazy day, if I'm honest. Like, I don't mean to call anybody lazy if you did nothing. But that's just what I call days where I do nothing, you know? It's a lazy day. I don't... Wednesdays are nice for that. Just purely because you can sit there and just accept the fact that it is the middle of the week, whether we like it or not. And yeah, that sucks. That the week is flying by fast, or that you haven't had all the days that you wish you could have had that week. But it also means the weekend is close. You know, it's just a couple more days away. It's all about perspective, and I can't help but have a positive perspective on Wednesdays. I'm also really excited about how far we've come with this base, because we've got... I think we might be able to finish it next month. That might be a little ambitious, but I think we might be able to finish it next month. It's gonna be tight, but I think we can. We're also just gonna remove the sand barrier here because it's kind of in the way. Which, in its defense, that is what barriers are for. They are to be in the way. Tax submitting tax. Hello, Tac. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for submitting your taxes. Appreciate you, dude. Hope you're doing well. Okay. 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 You are on me like a homing missile, dude. I just want my sand. That's all I'm here for. Oh, he killed them. Okay. Pretty good. Finalizing script for my next video. Hey, dude, let's go. That is awesome. Raw footage is done. That's great. That is awesome. How are you doing, Brisky? I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired. Like, really tired. But I've had a pretty busy day today, really. Doctor's appointments the last couple of days, plus waking up late on those days. So it's like even less time to do anything, but it's been a good couple of days. You know, just doing my best with whatever I've got. I got a couple of videos to record, not tonight, but maybe on Saturday. Saturday probably isn't a good day for it. I don't know. I've got a couple of videos that I've written and just need to be recorded. One of which is all done being written. Like, I should just do it. And then the other one is mostly scripted. It's just, it needs like a couple of improvised stuff, really. I've got the outline done. I might just improvise the rest because I don't usually stick to the script anyway. I don't need to write out everything. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. That's my saying, you know? Glad to hear that. Heck yeah. Can't wait for the new video though, dude. I have had the pleasure of watching at least one tactical slime video. And I think that was that maybe the one where was that maybe I think maybe that was the one that you fought the warden with your fist? But I might be thinking of a clip that I saw instead of an actual video. There's the video with me in it. Exactly, that one. You are with you? I am with me, yes. Hello, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry. You are playing Roblox? I'm playing Minecraft. I've actually never played well, okay, I can't say I've never played Roblox. I played it once. One singular time. And it was only because I got begged by my viewers to play. And I will admit, I'm sure there's a lot of great games on there. But, me personally, I just don't enjoy the community on Roblox. That and also the games I did play weren't very good, so it didn't help. You're too old for Roblox. Yeah, if I get on Roblox now, it would be weird. Like, I don't know. People would probably be raising eyebrows. What are you doing? I am currently... So I drained out all this area in this ocean. And I'm currently digging up some of the sand that I had to use to finish up the draining. And I'm going to be taking that and putting it into the furnaces so that we can have a bunch of glass. And that glass will eventually be turned into a really big dome here. I'm going to turn off the shaders so you guys can see that a little bit better. And then, of course, within the dome, there's this huge cylinder that's been dug out. And down here, we'll be putting, like, a huge city. It'll look really cool, I think. We'll see. We will see. There we go. But yeah, right now I'm just focusing on getting the sand taken care of. That way I can just sort of let the glass smelt by itself. So I don't have to wait on it when I'm ready to start working on the dome, which would be really nice. They did a poll, can't remember exact results without looking it up, but majority of players are like 14 to 17, then a few 17 to 21, and over 21 was very low. That's fair. That is completely fair, and I think a lot of that has to do with what Roblox really is. Roblox, a lot of their games are just... I don't want to, like, trash it. Like, I think if you guys enjoy it, you know? You do you. But, a lot of Roblox games are rip-off versions of other games. So, you know, I've seen people have Roblox, but it's Valorant, and Call of Duty, and Left 4 Dead, and it's like, you know, as an adult, I would just rather pay for the game that it's copying or trying to emulate. So people that have jobs 17 to 21 or even above 21, usually those are people that have jobs. Now there are exceptions like myself who don't have a job there, or people who are in college and they don't have to work a job to pay for their college. In those cases, you know, they may not have a job, but they're probably too busy to play Roblox. So that knocks down their audience that are above 21 by a huge margin. And I think a lot of people's tastes change. A lot of people stop gaming after 21 even. I don't know what the fall-off rate is there necessarily, but as people start their lives, I've noticed avid gamers have stopped gaming in general to some extent. Hello, Carla. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well, or welcome back, rather. Like, my brother, you guys wouldn't know this brother, but he used to play games a decent amount. He used to play them all the time with me when we were kids. And he still plays them sometimes, but I don't think he plays them like every night, or maybe not even every week. He still plays occasionally. He still has some consoles. But you know, it's one of those things. He probably doesn't game as much as he'd like to, and a lot of that has to do with working. But also a lot of that has to do with the fact that he has family, you know? So it is one of those things. My brother-in-law doesn't game as much as he'd probably like to. And in all honesty, I don't know if any of us really game as much as we'd like to. I don't think I even game as much as I'd like to. And I really don't have an excuse. Technically speaking, I could game whenever I want. The thing about that, though, is it beneficial for me to game whenever I want? Not really. I want to make video game too. So, I gotta kind of make sure I keep Omnia as a priority and focus on that when I can. I gotta make sure I work on videos so that I don't fall behind on that again. You know, I gotta keep up with all this stuff, and it's a little difficult, in all honesty, to keep up. And it's a little difficult to do that while trying to play games in your own free time. So I use streams as a lot of that. But I like to also play things other than Minecraft. And so off-stream, I usually end up playing a game that I haven't gotten all the achievements for. Because that's still one of my big to-do list items, is like, get as many achievements as I can for some of these games. Because, you know, my Steam profile, its achievement completion rate isn't great. It's probably better than what most people are, but I really want it to be at least 50%. And for those of you who are wondering what it's looking like right now, I will happily tell you. Profile. It is currently 38%. Which is pretty good, like I said. That isn't terrible. You know, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 perfected games. One of which is Counter-Strike, which you could hardly count as perfection because it only has one achievement and it's just to launch Counter-Strike 2. Hello Fork. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. And one of those is also Getting Over It, which has 3 achievements, but I think that's perfectly valid to say that all 3 of those are hard to get. You have to beat the game once, beat the game twice, and then you got to beat it 50 times. So, yeah, I think it's completely fair that I say that that one does definitely count towards it. But there's like a couple that I haven't gotten all the achievements for, like Stardew Valley or Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable, if I remember correctly, I have to play the entire duration of a Tuesday. Don't know how in the world I'm supposed to really do that, but I'm going to figure it out at some point. And then Stardew Valley is just a small grind. Like I gotta redo. I have to do a different save file to go a different path with the community center, and then I also need to beat Prairie King without dying. And then there's one more. Obtain the most powerful weapon, which is pretty easy to do. It's just a little bit of a grind. And I'm not a stranger to grinding in Stardew Valley, as some of you have seen. 20-hour session over there. I'm Outlet. Oh, my bad. Hello, Outlet. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. How it's going, Mr. King? Greetings. Hello. How's it going, Jamaro? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well, dude. Good to see you again. We are just digging up some of our sand out here. Trying to get some of it put away so that we can, very soon anyway. Very soon, we're going to start smelting it into glass, which is going to be good. Okay. Sorry about that. As always, my man, heck yeah. Yeah, we're just chilling today. Nothing too crazy. Now, I do know the title is How Long Can We Go? That doesn't mean I'm going to push myself to stay awake very long tonight. I actually have to be up somewhat early tomorrow. I've got something I'm helping with, and it's gonna require me to be up. Not early, but for me it's gonna be early because I don't usually wake up at like this hour, but I gotta be up before 8 a.m. Which is like a decent hour for most people. Like that would be really nice to wake up at 8 a.m. But I'm used to staying up till like 2. So, you know, not my favorite thing in the world. But if I do that, I can go help out with the thing that I'm helping with, and that'll be a good time. Thank you for the lurk, Vane. Appreciate it. Thank you. Just gotta repair the shovel. Somebody shut a door and it was really loud. Okay, we're good. I really should just make some backup gear so that way I don't have to repair as much. But at this point, like, my shovel's almost done anymore. So maybe just getting a couple of extra pickaxes would be nice. I don't know. I will have to think about that for a little bit. I can't reach you. There we go. bum. Okay, I think that should be a full shovel. It's almost there. Okay, let's go ahead and top off. Let's do both the picks. I might as well at this point. They're not bad. They're just not. Wow, this one was almost dead. But you know, it's whatever. Bump, 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 bump. Ash. Bum, bum, bum. I need more XP, please. Thank you. I could like start vocal grinding if it helps summon my inner Matt Pat. I need more XP. Like, just need a little. I don't even really need a lot. At least for this one. Okay. Bum, ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 da. Okay. I think we're good. Be a little angry, aren't they? That's fine. And they'll all despawn. We're chilling. Alright, let's get into... Oh, a little bit of lag spike. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Ah, it's fine. It's just a new version of Minecraft, I promise. I think I'm gonna put away this box here and there. This one's almost full and that one's getting close. Okay. We're almost done with that, and then we can work on a furnace array really quick, which isn't gonna be like anything super fancy. It's just gonna be like, I guess, a row of hoppers and a row of furnaces, and that'll pretty much be that. And I gotta hook up them with, I guess, probably... I might do lava buckets. Because they each smelt 100 items. Each lava bucket does. And, I mean, we got 64 times 27. So that's gonna be, divide that by 100. That's gonna be 17.5 buckets of lava per hopper. Or, per shulker, right? We got kind of a lot there, I guess. Also, it is hot, and I don't know why. So I'm like not wearing hardly. I'm wearing a lot. I'm not hardly wearing anything. Let me just clarify that. Walk it back for a sec. I'm wearing socks. Those are now off, but you know, I'm wearing my typical outfit, I guess. I mean, it's just a t-shirt. I don't understand. Do not understand. Oh, wow. Oh. Boom. Now, I will say, I don't know what tomorrow will look like. I'm intending to still stream tomorrow. But because of the thing I'm waking up early for tomorrow, I may be out for a little bit. I won't be out until the end of the day. I know that. It's like, I know I won't, like, be unable to stream. My question is just gonna be, how tired am I gonna be? If I get home early enough, I can at least, take a nap or something if I have to. As much as I hate naps, you know. I understand there are necessary evils to this world, and naps are one of those things. Do any of you guys like naps? I'm curious. I personally don't like them. However, I know there are a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, I could go for a nap. I enjoy a nap. I'm like, I don't know. I just really feel bad about sleeping. And that comes from somebody who sleeps a very long time. Like today, I accidentally slept a lot longer than I was supposed to. I set my alarm so I would wake up in 7 hours, and then I woke up and turned it off. And then ended up falling back asleep for another 2 or 3, so... Naps make you feel worse, but sometimes you're just so tired, you just have to. But you feel worse after. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Nathan. All that. A lot of it is like, I don't know what the word is to describe it, I guess. A lot of it is habit for some people. They get into the habit of, quote-unquote, needing a nap. And so it ends up being that they always take one. Whereas if they wouldn't take it, they'd actually have a better overnight sleep. And then that would recharge their brain as much as they need it to. Some of it is our bodies are just tired, and so instead of resting our body, we decide to rest our mind alongside it. That is another thing. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think probably most people probably don't need naps. Probably. Some of us struggle because our body is tired and our mind is tired, so we rest and we fall asleep because we're trying to just lay there and not do anything, just watching TV. I can't stay awake if I'm just watching TV. I gotta be doing something alongside it. I won't even lie to you guys right now. This is not stimulating enough to me, mining sand. I could fall asleep doing this. It wouldn't surprise me if I will. Like, I need a stupid amount of stimulation to stay awake. Which is probably not a good thing. I mean, we talked about it last stream, I guess. You know, dopamine is like all around us. It's being pumped right into our bodies half the time. But, You know, it's not that I, like, require... I mean, dopamine definitely helps. Some things just wake you up better than others. I could drink more coffee. You know what? That might be why I'm kind of tired. When did I drink the coffee today? Was that like 1 p.m.? Maybe? Yeah, it's about that hour. Okay. I might be having like a very minute caffeine crash. I didn't drink a ton. It was just a coffee, but that would explain it just a little. Get a big can of Red Bull. I've never had Red Bull, and I'm scared to ever drink it. Like, I'm scared to drink any actual proper energy drink. In all honesty. But coffee, on the other hand, I love coffee. I can get behind that. And I don't know why I love coffee so much. Like, it's just good. I can't explain it. I just know it. Alright, let's come over here. Stretch just for a second. I'm gonna pop my back with it. Alright. So, I need 13 of the furnaces. Which I'm not... I mean, I have 4 of them right here. But... ooh. Okay. We'll just make some. It's no big deal. I don't know how much I need. I'm just taking it all. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. I need more iron, which... yeah. Put that in here. Take that. Over here we need 13 chests, but we're gonna need to actually make more. So I'm gonna need... I need 26 hoppers. Okay. And then... think. We could just put... well... let's do... or any more chests. I'm just gonna turn all of those into chests. I know that's kind of excessive, but we'll utilize them all at some point in time anyway. Okay. Take that. I don't need you. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come over here. And we're not gonna be digging up this side for a while. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm off. I need more hoppers. Up, 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 up. Okay. So that's for your fuel. So we need 13 of those. Yeah. Hello, Juan? Hello, hello. I think you might be the first person from Uruguay. I think. I don't recall anybody else who said that they're from Uruguay, so that's impressive, dude. Welcome on in, hope you're doing well. Okay. Of those. Oh. Okay, we're gonna put the slime. There we go. Okay. Here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Those are will slowly but surely empty. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it, Juan. Thank you, thank you. And then we need... How many did I say? 17. We need 18 buckets of lava per furnace. Okay. Let's do... How many buckets of lava would that be? Times 13, divide that by 27. So we need 9 shulkers full of lava. Okay. Never heard of anyone on stream, on any stream being from Uruguay. That is a pretty unique location, really. I'm impressed. 3... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm almost out of shulker shells. Okay, we need 244 buckets. So equals by the 416. That's gonna be 14 stacks of buckets, okay. Four stacks. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, we got a long way to go. I have unlimited iron. I probably just do whatever I need to do. We need 3 more stacks there. 1, 2, 3. That should be all 14 we need. Okay. You and put you in there. Okay. I think my best bet is probably I'm gonna go on a walk. I'll probably be back. All right, sounds good, Spicy. Go enjoy your walk, dude. Appreciate you being here. Probably going to the nether. So I don't have a lava farm, and as far as I know, I don't think anyone else on the server does. So yeah, we'll head to the nether, and then I have to go all the way towards spawn and then all the way out. But yeah, we'll make that work. You know, I think I just realized, I made 14, I'm going the wrong way. I made 14 stacks of buckets. How many shulkers do I have? Is that correct? I don't know. We'll find out in a second. We will find out in a second. I don't know what I was thinking necessarily. I probably really wasn't thinking, and that's okay. Okay, we're just gonna log out here since the server's about to restart. And while it's restarting, I'm going to take a short break. Just gonna go grab some more water. And then maybe by the time I'm back, the server will be back online. But I'm kind of thirsty, so give me like 3 minutes top. Probably don't even need that much time. Sit tight. I'll be back. Server's still down, probably. Maybe started. Yep. Give that a couple of seconds. Stretch bomb. The blood flow a little bit. sitting down is good, apparently. That's good for you, it's not good for you in long quantities. Which is fine. I will do whatever I want. That is the will of spirit. Something like that. Okay. There we go. Let's get right back to it. Alright. And down we go. Boom. Lava lake. Right there. That is what I'm talking about. Is it enough buckets? Probably. Okay, I'm going to lay out a couple of those. Really fast. Okay. Okay. How many did I? It was 4. One more. There we go. So long as there's 3 in my inventory, then I know I'm good. Oh, okay. Well, we might need to get another lava bucket. It's fine. Hello, Daniel. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. I can reach you. Did I leave any extras in here? I didn't. Okay. Let's just, like, put 3 in there. Redistribute these a little bit so that they work out in my favor a little bit more. There we go. Okay. That is doable. That is doable. Fall very carefully here. I think I can reach far enough. That is part of the trouble with the nether. I probably should have brought fire potions, fire resistance potions, but you live and you learn or something like that. Okay. Well, living and learning, am I right? Okay, wow. It is doing a lot. Okay. Already kind of almost full on most of these shulkers, which is good. But at least get us a good start. I don't know if I messed up my math and didn't calculate some of the lava we're gonna need, or if I miscalculated how many shulkers I need. I don't know where the math is wrong, but I don't think I did it completely right, which is, you know, it's not a great thing. It's not a terrible thing, though. I can work with it. Let's find out what the lava's looking like here. Ah! 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 Get out of here. Go. Be gone. Okay. There's that one. 17.28 17.28 buckets to smelt a shulker worth. Yes. So I calculated that it was roughly going to be a little under 2 shulkers, or 2 shulkers full of lava per shulker of sand. So if there's 13 shulkers of sand, I need 7 shulkers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I got 8 right there. That might be enough. Guess we'll find out, won't we? Okay, that hurt. I need to stop walking in the lava. 8.33, 8.32. Gotcha. I can work with that. Starting to sound a little dangerous. I can hear the piglins up there, and they just killed a hoglin, it sounds like. So, you know, we know they're hungry. That's for sure. Flowing from. Not like 100% certain. That's fine. I don't need to know everything. I just need to get my lava. 224.64 buckets. Jeez. Okay. I really need to pay attention. I'm thinking we shoot for that little block there and just take up as much lava in the area there. Maybe we go for that platform there instead. Ooh, okay. Well, that almost went really terribly, but that's okay. It didn't. Okay. Oop. Yeah, go for that one. It'll help me see what I'm actually going for in these more shallow areas now. well, which would be kind of nice. Okay. You know, the amount of fire damage I'm taking really should not be forgivable. But it's okay. I need to still fill you up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that'll be 7. This will be 8. And then if I have any extras that I can, I'll just carry them in my inventory. If I don't have any extras, then I need to go get more buckets. Oop. Okay. I can't see those 2 pixels of lava and it's killing me. Almost literally. Okay. You. Okay. Whatever's left, I will take care of. I think it's all coming from up there, which I can't reach. I'll just take whatever's underneath the surface, I guess. Okay. Ouch. I need to eat. Please let me not die. Okay. Okay. Take you, and you, and you. Let's just see how full my inventory is going to be. I can definitely do all 7. Good. Is that enough? Not quite, but it'll be alright. We'll come back out when we're ready. This will be most of it. Okay. How do I get out? I'm pretty sure it was this way. Pretty sure. I was correct. Okay. Too short. Need 8 shulkers and 9 buckets. Dang. The funny thing is, I accidentally burned one of the buckets. So I would have just been 1 short. That would have been awful. I think I've got some lava in the overworld even, maybe. So we might be able to work something out there. Missed my mouth a little bit. Okay, fine. That is fine by me. Let's take this all down. Oh. Luckily, I mean, once the sand is done, like, I don't have to do much. 0.33 of a shulker would be a third, so 1 row. Oh. You right. Yeah, I got 7 there, so. Man. Let me see if I got, like, a lava bucket or something. I have hiccups, too. Ow. They hurt, like, a lot. Ow. Oh my gosh. Alright. That's what I have to say to you. My own body is, like, betraying me at this very moment. I will not hiccup. I refuse. I refuse. Okay, there's like a lava pool somewhere over here. Pretty sure. How we built our first nether portal. Yep. Okay. Now we have everything we need. So it's gonna probably have to be, I don't know if it would be a little more, like we need more lava or not. Because I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know if I'm gonna be a little inefficient or if I'm perfect here. And if I'll just kick off, heck yeah. Who's playing tonight? Oop, do not burn that. This is a satisfying thing. Hearing the sound of all these buckets going in. All those. I'll just have to remember to come back up and put more in after it's been here for a couple of hours. This isn't too bad. Okay. Commanders and Packers? Okay, I gotcha. That might be an interesting game, actually. Both teams are, I don't want to say, like, not good. They're good in their own right, you know. They're not considered top of the league, but that's kind of what makes those games interesting to watch, is because you know. Well, you know that you don't know who's going to win. That's kind of the fun part about some of those, I don't want to say lower tier games, because they fought really hard to get into the NFL. So like if you're in the NFL, you're kind of crazy, like GG's. But you know, they're not like, say, Chiefs or Chargers or they're not even like Saints level good, you know. Saints aren't bad. That wasn't a diss at them, but they're not, you know, they wouldn't be what you'd, if you were asked to name the #1 NFL team, most people, in all honesty, wouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, the Saints got it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now, there were a couple of years that was the case. Okay. These will actually kind of make quick work of it all, hopefully. I mean, smelt 27 items, or 27 stacks of items. I wonder, is there like a furnace calculator? Probably not. Minecraft, furnace, calculator. I think I actually had one, didn't I? Yep, smelting time calculator. Is this the one I'm thinking of? It is. So if we've got 27 stack times 4, that is 1,728. That's 4 hours and 48 minutes. That's not too bad. That is not too bad. Okay. We'll roll with that. That's long. I mean, it is long compared to, like, I actually built, like, a proper super smelter. But, I think it's, like, reasonable enough. I mean, I'm gonna be digging for a while, at least. I like this channel. It's very relaxed. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Juan. I do my best to provide a pleasant place for you all to hang out. So I'm glad to hear that. Yaya? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Alright. I need to take this down by 2 more levels. That's what we'll do now. That we're at Y0. That's silk touch. We don't need silk touch for the deep slate. I would actually prefer cobbled deep slate in all honesty. Reason being, it's a much more versatile block in my opinion. I can turn that into anything and everything that I want. The deep slate is just the worst. Like, I'm thinking about this right now, okay? The deep slate is like... I mean, it's a great block. Okay? It is. But... I'm glad I don't have to dig as much of it as the stone. The stone is so much better. Hello, Coral. Thank you for submitting your taxes. I appreciate it. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. I mean, I've mined almost 200,000 stone in this world. Not too bad. Not too bad, anyway. How low can we go? How low can we go? That is... Can we go real low? This is the question. Although the title of today's stream is actually how long can we go, just because Swifty thought that was the title last stream. And I was like, you know, I kind of like that one. We're gonna go with that one too. Even though it's not a test of how long we can actually go with mining, because I actually will be going somewhere tomorrow. Earlier in the morning. I'm gonna be working at somebody's house. Trying to get it all cleaned up and all that kind of stuff. And, I'm gonna be out of the house for a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I really hope... I mean, I've seen pictures. It is a mess. But it's the right thing to do to help them. So do I want to? No, but will I? Yes. That is... If I don't do it, who would? That's kind of my whole philosophy. I can't get mad at other people for not helping out each other if I wouldn't be willing to. And I think that's just the touch the world needs these days. It's people helping people. Sorry to get all philosophical on you all. But human decency is a great thing. That's as much as I'll say. I really hate myself, which I might. We'll find out. We're about to find out. Because once this layer is done, I'm going to have to decide. Do I want to work on this for a little bit? Because, like, I've already got the beacon over there. It'd be nice to move the beacon over to one of the other sides and work over there as well. And that would get down to its lowest point, which is down here at the end of this cave. I don't know. I don't know. We'll probably get there when we get there. We'll figure that out later. That's a future me problem. Yeah, do that bit. I mean, if I get it out of the way now, like you said, just do it. If I get it out of the way now, I won't have to do it later. How long can we go? How long can we go? That is the question, Swiftu. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Welcome on in. Thank you for spending your taxes. Hope you're doing well. To get the satisfaction of it looking complete and flat. That is true. That is kind of worth a lot to me now that I think about it. Okay. Drop granite. And drop the diorite. And then drop a couple deep slate. There we go. I'm trying to collect all the ores too. There we go. Alright. Guys. Okay, I made an offensive joke in class today because I forgot I was in a school and not talking in stream. You would have found it funny. Once I realized, I quickly added on and made it sound like I said something different and saved myself. Fair enough. That is fair enough. I failed my English test. Oh no, I'm sorry, Coral. I was gonna say I bombed it, but I missed it. That's crazy. I got a 31. Oof. Oof. I'm sorry, dude. It's okay. It's okay. Are they going to let you redo it, maybe? Possibly. I mean, like, they gotta, right? You have dyslexia, right? Right, Coral? English is just, like, built to fight you anyway. So, like, you know, I feel like it is a targeted attack on you to force you to do English. Let's see. Would you ever masturbate chat? It depends. It really depends. I try not to. It depends on what the debate is, really. A lot of things I end up going to the point of most people are not willing to change their minds on the internet. Regardless of who says what to them. And both sides will openly think that they are the correct side, regardless of whether or not, whether or not anybody makes a good point. You know, for me, I'm willing to sit there and say, you know, I was wrong, or I see where you're coming from. I don't agree with it, but I do see it. I think it was trolling masturbate. I think probably not. Because he just said that he masturbates all the time. But I probably can assume where this question kind of sort of came from. That's just my thought. I'm well aware of how you think it sounds. That's why I've been very careful with how I'm saying it. That's their anniversary. Isn't your wedding anniversary? Yes, yes it is. I would say, personally, me, no. But, generally speaking, some people probably would. I don't know, we've had debates on stream a couple of times. Usually it's instigated by other people who don't like what I say and can't take that. And, you know, that's fine. I don't care if somebody disagrees with me. And I don't care that they publicly oppose my opinion. But if you're gonna try to say something and talk crap about my opinion on my stream in my chat, I'm gonna clap back. That's how that works. And so there have been a couple of cases, and I have one, and yes, some of them were en masse, where you had 3 or 4 people who were dogpiling one opinion against me. And they couldn't ever give me anything. All they just kept saying were the same 3 points, and they couldn't circle back to anything else after I refuted those points with facts and logic. Like, I don't know. That's... All I'm saying is you can't say that you want to debate if you can't refute any of my proofs that refute yours. Like, I don't know. That's just me. Me personally. And it stands a chance against a well-structured argument? Probably not. And like, most people end up saying, well, it's not fair because you're the streamer, you have the mic, so you can just choose what you read and what you want to argue about. And it's like, yes, to an extent. You can control it a little bit, but that's not what I was doing. I read every single one of their messages, and I refuted every single one of their points. I wasn't, like, cherry-picking their wordings or anything, although they tried to say that I was. I won't get into the topic today, but I will tell you what the topic was. I was debating a Baptist and I think he was Catholic, guy in my chat about whether or not women could be pastors in a church. And, you know, I'm not one to get into theological discussion necessarily on stream, because, you know, that's not why most of you are here. I seriously doubt any of you are here because of my theological takes. If you are, welcome. That's cool. But it's not something that we talk about often, so it's kind of like, I seriously doubt anybody is really there for this. But it briefly came up, and I kind of said something, and somebody took some amount of offense to it, enough to say something. So I didn't tear him a new one, but I really should have, because, man, the things they said, not about women, but about my interpretation of how I read the Bible, and the implications of what they meant by it. I was like, I think you need to go sit in the corner. Okay, anyway. I do the dinner watching your channel, now eating, continue watching, great channel. I like Minecraft, but I only play Cobblemon. Oh, nice. Hello, Han. I'm glad to be a source of entertainment for you. Cobblemon is a great mod. I haven't gotten to play it myself, but it's a very in-depth mod, and I respect people who play it. King's married. When did this happen? I'm not married. Wow, maybe I am, but only to your mom. Possibly. Let's do. Oh. They didn't stand a chance against well-structured argument. You can't really cherry pick as a small streamer. Yeah. Like, you get into debates with, like, Hassan or XQC, who has a chat moving at the speed of light. Like, yeah, they're gonna cherry pick. And that's not intentional even sometimes. It's just, like, they can actually legitimately say, oh, I probably didn't see that, and skip over your argument. Now, more often than not, they're not even reading their chats, just because they are so stupidly fast. But those guys do tend to have a... They tend to have a certain echo chamber in their head, whether it's one way or the other. They think their takes are the opinion, and that everybody should agree with them. Or I'm just like, I'm just here, guys. I'm just here. I don't care if you guys agree with me. I try not to say anything that's polarizing. I'm not gonna tell you what you should or shouldn't believe. I hope that you all are decent enough people to believe stuff that isn't going to hurt people. And that's good enough for me. Let's do, but fun history lesson about the 9/11 memorial. It took a long time to clean, went through many different lead designers, designs, and budget changes, so it took 10 years. Yes, it did. It was very interesting. But yes, it's one of those things, I guess, like, I remember seeing some of the designs, and they were interesting. Like, some people just suggested, okay, instead of building just 2 towers, we build 4. I remember some people wanting, like, huge glass structures that were made to be gardens. Some people were like, what if we build a... well, the One World Trade Center, that one was another idea. We build 1 tower, but we build it even better as a sign of unity. It took a long process for them to figure out exactly what to do. Well, I guess, like, the fountain, the wells, the holes that they left there, those are also there, and they're a lot bigger than what people think they are. Like, it's interesting. It's very, very, very interesting. Just how long it took, and how much debate went into what to do in order to be as reverent and as American as possible. You know, a lot of people had a lot of different ideas. And, you know, I think they all kind of came together in a sort of way that was beautiful. Let's see. I feel like the obvious answer is yes. I won't go deep into it because I don't think it's productive. I will say, if anybody wants to have that conversation with me, I will happily have it, but it's got to be civil, and we both got to accept the fact that we're probably going to walk away and disagree because, you know, I could point to several places, you could point to several places, and we'll both say, well, you're probably reading it wrong. And that's probably that. You know, I'm not in the business of changing minds. I'm just in the business of believing what I believe and letting you do what you want to do. And if your mind happens to change, that's cool. But if your mind doesn't change, that's cool too. Okay, I need to place those right there. Okay. 10 years is fine. They got married their opening day. I was busy today. I'm sorry, Coral. Can't read. 7:20 a.m. and got back at 8:10 p.m. That is insane. Actually insane. GG's, dude. If for some reason it took 10 years to plan or something, oh my goodness. Man, I just had a good plot point. I was trying to make it where they go that day and get married in a very specific field. What you could do, Swiftu, there was a different attack, years prior. I don't know how old Tim is supposed to be. You could have them be there for that, and then, have them get married in the field. I don't know. That's up to you, dude. I'm trying to refrain. I've been a good person lately, guys. I'm trying not to make offensive jokes. That's all I'm trying to do. Oh, that's where they meet. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You've got me stumped on this one, maybe. Hello, how's it going, Ellently? Okay, you need to die. Yep, bye. Okay. I mean, you know me, I can accept I'm wrong, I think. I think you can, too. I tend to agree with you, Spicy. To not get too deep into it, why would God limit his options on who he would choose to lead? Beyond that, he did choose several women to lead throughout points in history. And beyond that, several also spread the word that Jesus was alive after he came back to life from the grave. So you put all those things together, even the verses that people say, well, it says only men, don't say that. You're reading it with the presupposition that only men can, because you're also looking at it and saying that the marriage part doesn't matter. Because the verse that a lot of people like to point to is that if you wish to be I think they say bishop in certain translations, but if you wish to be a bishop within the church, then you must be a man who is married to one woman. That implies if you're going to read it as they have to be a man, then you have to read it as they also have to be married. Whereas a lot of people like to read it and say, well, it means that if they are married, then they have to be married to one person. And at that point, you're reading some of it and saying this matters, but that doesn't. And to me, you have to say either all of it matters or some of it matters. Paul, the apostle that wrote it, more than likely meant in a contextual standpoint, he was probably writing to a group of men. So it makes perfect sense why he said that. Usually, in those times, this isn't me being offensive, this is just me stating a historical fact, women weren't as valued. Regardless of what you believe, that was the case in a lot of those times. So Paul specifically addressing a woman is very rare. Usually it's written just to say, and now, brothers, obviously women are to follow the same things that men are supposed to follow. So, you know, in those cases, I see where they're coming from, but I understand enough about the context and about who wrote the book and the time period of the book being written on why it doesn't include women in specific on that. Because it would have added a whole other, like, 5 or 6 verses for Paul to then say, and if you are a woman, then, you know, it's the whole slippery slope once you say this matters and then that can't, you know. That's my take on it. I know a lot of other people, really, really, really don't like it, and I don't care that they don't like what I believe. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you believe in Jesus, you've probably got most of it. We also have agency, and why would God give a woman an ability to be pastors and they're not allowed to be pastors? I get that rule doesn't apply for something like murder, but you're also saying my other backup facts. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, why would God give somebody leadership and teaching capabilities at the same time and then tell you you can't do that? Like, that would, like you said, it applies to murder as well to a certain extent, but murder isn't a gift from the Holy Spirit. That's the difference. So, like you said, it is different, and for somebody to try to equate those to being the same would look foolish. So you're cleared on that. You are cleared on that one. Let's see. I'm an offensive joke. That's crazy. Thank you for submitting your taxes, Ellently. Appreciate it. Let's see. I'm doing. I'm a bit tired, but doing good. How are we doing today? I'm doing pretty okay. I'm tired, but I'm chilling. We're just digging a hole, and yeah, that's about it. Now I will say I don't think. Okay, most people who do believe that women can be pastors usually aren't sexist. I do want to quickly throw that out there. To assume that would be foolish, they believe the way they read it that God set that in motion. Most of them aren't reading it with the intention of sounding that way. So if you run into somebody who's like, hey, blah, 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 like, give them a little bit of grace. The way they read it, that does sound that way. And I can see how they got there. I don't agree with how they got there, but I can see. Now, some people use their version of God as an excuse to be misogynistic. That is not okay. Anyone who reads any verse in the Bible will see that God sets us into the same group. So it's not one above the other. And, you know, a lot of people try to use their freedoms and their righteousness as a cover-up for doing evil, and that's not right either. Let's see. But yeah, it's very good point, Spicy. More digging. How fun. Yeah, how fun. We're almost done with this side. This is the last layer here. And then we may go down here and dig a little bit. Just try to get us down to a flat point so that it looks all good. And then we may start up over here. I don't know. I don't want to go super, super late because I leave in 11 hours. I'm going to be going to somebody's house to clean up for a little bit. I say a little bit. It's a lot of it. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the scenario and why I have to go help clean it. But essentially, you know, it's not their fault that it was such a mess. But in order for them to live there and the state not, like, throw a hissy fit about it, there's a lot of cleaning to be done. And then, so I'm gonna go and help and try to get it all cleaned so that they can live in that space. So I'll be gone for a lot of tomorrow, probably. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it's not hard work. I know it will be hard work. But you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Not the house on the news recently with all the trash piled up out front. It might be. I don't think there's a house. Is there a house on the news with trash piled up out front? Now I gotta look this up. House with trash. Oh, Los Angeles? I am not going to LA. I wish I was. I wish I was, because that would have at least been pretty. Man. That is insane. Holy cow. It's not nearly as bad, so that's at least reassuring. It could have been worse. Let's do that. Okay. So what you're saying is everyone needs slurs and kit server because you are not there to mod? No! Now I gotta pull up her server just to make sure nobody does say anything. No, I trust most people. Most of you are decent human beings. I say most. I would say all of you are probably decent human beings. Some of you are more decent than others. And, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know. Some of us try, some of us, we do the bare minimum. And I respect it, you know, you gotta do what you can work with. Hello, Alex, welcome on in, hope you're doing well. You see it? It was cleaned a year ago or something and piled up again? That is insane. How did it get that messy? Yeah, the house I'm going to is not nearly as bad as that. Let's do... Hoarding, probably? Yeah. More than likely. It's just kind of crazy. Like, how do you... I don't know, if you can recognize you have the problem, surely you can realize that it's not healthy. But I guess a lot of people don't have the self-control to say no. And that's not to condemn anybody. Like, you know, we all have our issues. But it is more so to say, you know, hey, let's examine the fact that maybe we need to tell ourselves no. Like, I don't need every single electronics box that I have. You know, like, I buy PC parts from time to time. I keep a lot of the boxes, but I try not to keep all of them. But I keep some of them. I keep them for a while just for the sake of if I need to do a return. I can usually do it pretty easily if I have the box. Is that a skeleton horse? It is, yes. I don't know where it came from, to be honest. Like, it just kind of showed up one day. But... yeah, I don't know. At a certain point, you gotta realize, like, oh man, I need to start telling myself no. Like, even in my own room, like, in here, I have thrown away and gotten rid of a lot of stuff. And some of that is out of the fact of, like, okay, this is important, or it was important to me. Like, I had a huge stack of birthday cards, Christmas cards, and, you know, things like that. And, like, it's nice to go back and look at those from time to time, but I never did. I never went back to look at those. But I used to have, like, a whole stack of them. Of every single card that a family member has ever sent me. And, like, it was nice looking through them before I threw them away. But at a certain point, it was kind of like, I've got, like, 100 of these cards. I need to just throw them away, you know? I looked through them one last time just to see them, and I saved a couple because they were from family members who passed away, and it was the last one they sent me. And I kept those, and I put them in my closet somewhere. But I didn't need to keep every single one of them, and so that was nice to just get rid of that stack on my desk. And, you know, I think there were a couple of other small things that I had that were kind of like, I don't need this, I don't need that. Old electric cables, like, iPhone chargers or Android chargers. I don't even have an Android anymore. I had an old Android tablet, but I never use it. So I could throw away a couple of those. I still have one, just in case somebody visits and they need it, but I didn't need you know, 3 or 4 of them. Especially considering most of them didn't even work. Good night, Fox. Appreciate you popping in. My birthday is July 7th. Just throwing that out there. Let's see. Oh, there you're not. Hurry. People walk past it, they probably use it. But other trash is already there. That's fair. Yeah, once there's a trash pile, it's kind of like, okay, well, eventually somebody's gonna clean it up. I get how that could happen. On this day 1 month ago, I sent King an Instagram DM. I don't ever check my Instagram DMs. I'm never on there. I feel bad now. I might get on a little later. Maybe I'll get on there after stream. We'll see. Trying to think what else I got rid of during all of that. I got rid of a lot of packaging for my 3D printer in specific. There's a lot of packaging for it, and I think I ended up getting rid of most of it because I was like, I'm never gonna take this sucker apart. Because now that I have it actually working and it's in one piece, I'm just gonna transport it as it is. If I ever do transport it. I may end up deciding I don't want it anymore and I'll just sell it. Not that I want to sell it, but, you know, it is an option. Why am I doing that? You're gonna follow PC Gus, right? Yeah. I didn't know I wasn't following PC Gus on Insta. I need to get on that. Hello, Yama. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. About to buy a K1C. A K1C. What brand is that? Or is that the brand? I'm not familiar with 3D printers too much. I know Bamboo is kind of like the printer right now. A lot of people love those. Reality, okay, I gotcha. So that's one of the big boy ones then. I know a lot of people stay within the Ender series. But K1Cs, that would be... That's still within the filament line. Hang on, I gotta double check that. K1C. Oh, okay. Okay, I see you. The 200 meter by 200 millimeter by 200 millimeter bed. Yeah. That is sick. Got a hardened steel nozzle tip. Looks like it prints in carbon fiber too. That is awesome. Okay. I hope you enjoy that, dude. That's really cool. That is really, really cool. Up. Up. Okay. Up. Up. There we go. Let's see. Smaller but more reliable than my Ender 3 Max Neo. That's fair. That is fair. Sometimes with 3D printers in specific, it's about the reliability. I don't want to have to sit there and mess with it every time I want to use it. Which is kind of what my 3v2 is like right now. It's a good printer, but it is a pain in the butt to use. Now, I do have it working right now. Like, it does work. What was the last thing I printed? I was gonna do like a piece of merch, but I ended up deciding against it because couldn't justify the price that it was going to cost for you guys to buy it. But I was going to make these little tokens, essentially. So it's going to have a pattern on the front, and then it was going to be sprayed gold and silver, so you guys could take whichever one you wanted, or I was going to give it a silver undercoat, or give it a silver touch-up on the edges to give it kind of scratch mark. But it was going to be like these tokens about this size, or maybe even a little smaller, and have a pattern on it for each King SMP season, limited run kind of deal. But I decided against it. It may still be something I do, because if I get enough pre-orders on it, I guess, because the supplies only cost me so much per person, you know, it wouldn't be so bad. The thing is, the initial cost of it all is a lot to eat if I only make one sale, or if I make no sale. You know, I thought it was a cool collector's item idea, but I might save that for later kind of deal. But I do like the idea. I plan to do a crap ton on carbon fiber prints for an e-bike that rips 100 miles per hour. That is awesome. I hope that goes well for you, Spicy. Those were the kind of things I really wanted to do with my 3D printer, was like actually build cool stuff with it. But then I realized it costs a lot of money to build the cool stuff that you want to do. So, that was a very short-lived idea, I guess. But it was an idea at one point in time. I was also told myself I was going to sell a lot of stuff so that people could buy it, and then I make a little bit of money off of it. But it's a weird market to try to break into, 3D printing. Because unless you're doing print on demand, which it's hard to even get into that, because unless you've got a huge fleet of printers, like what you said, Spicy, then you can't just do it solo, so you gotta sign into somebody else's business, but you gotta hope that their business actually does something, or that you have the right filament that people want to use, or the right complexity. You know, there's a lot of issues with trying to do a 3D printing, not business, but a print-on-demand store, at least. I don't know. But 20 to 30 printers would be crazy, and that'd definitely be nice. Especially if your printers move at pretty good speeds and print fast. Because you could possibly save some of those prints for, or some of those printers for on-day delivery kind of deal. Not full delivery, but like, you know, you could do same-day kind of stuff. Like, oh, you sent me that file? Yeah, we can have that done in 5 hours. We'll go ahead and put it on one of our primed printers, and then, you know, you'll be good to go. Like, we'll have it ready for you in a jiff. Now, some of those prints aren't a 5-hour job. A lot of them aren't. A lot of prints end up being like, okay, this is gonna take us 20 hours. You're just gonna have to deal with that taking 20 hours, but we'll see you tomorrow. I really wish I got in on GameStop, dude. When GameStop stock was climbing, I wasn't old enough to invest. Not through any investment apps. And I didn't have enough money to throw at it to go to, like, Wall Street. So, I don't even know if Wall Street would let me invest at 16. I may have had to have somebody else invest on my behalf. I don't know. Bless you, thank you. Appreciate it, Nafan. I have been sneezing a lot more lately. It's not been like a sick sneeze though. It's just been a little like irritant in my nose or something, and it's like allergies, but I don't have the rest of the symptoms of allergies. I take allergy meds though, so I mean, it could just be a little bit of pollen has found its way in my nose, and that still has to come out regardless of how much meds I take, you know? Oh, man. Well, we will at least get this layer done. I thought we were moving at good speeds, but I'm starting to slow down. I'm not slowing down literally, I'm just mentally slowing down. This might be the last layer, honestly. I may wrap up after this. I am tired, and I got a lot of work to do tonight. Omnia's not gonna make itself, guys. And it's really tempting. Oh. Somebody summoned a wither. What was I saying before that? Oh yeah, I really want to show you guys a sneak peek of it, but it's not done yet, and like, I don't know. Part of me thinks it looks a little off. I don't know. Part of me thinks it looks off enough that it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys would like it, but the other part of me is like, oh, but it looks really cool. I don't know how much he profited off of it, but I do know he was able to buy a house, fire siren, buy a 2002 Mustang, an Audi, a couple nice sports cars, and go to the local bank, 6K to invest with a guaranteed 15% back annual rate. Dang. That's insane. That is actually insane. But yeah, you are absolutely correct. That guy that walked out of it, he made so much off of it. It was millions. I know that. But I don't know just how large that millions is. How do you spell the title of your game? O-M-N-I-A. Yes, Omnia. It is Latin for everything. I think. It's called oatmeal. Oatmeal works. That works. I've had it called omnibus. I've had it called ominous. I've had it called oatmeal's a new one. There was another one. I don't remember what it was. I was spelling it right, just want to make sure. No worries, no worries. Let's do. I do hope by the end of the month that I have the Discord for that game open for you guys to join. A lot of it has just been about getting the branding settled, and then I gotta go back through and redo all the Discord because it still has a lot of the old stuff in it. You know, myself and some of the previous dev team have decided to split up the assets entirely. So we're operating with a full logo instead of a temporary one that was designed at first. We're gonna be operating with a well, I've got to redo a lot of the sneak peek channels and decide how those are gonna look now because the old sneak peeks aren't sneak peeks for my game anymore. They're for other people's projects, and that's fine. I'm not upset about that at all, actually. It gives me a lot of freedom to work with whatever I want to do. without having to try to fit in other ideas yet. So it works out for me. It's just, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. He's a really chill dude. Can't even tell a dude has money. He doesn't spend on useless junk or crap, which I respect. You can tell he wasn't raised to be... He wasn't raised to a... He wasn't raised to be spoiled. He wasn't raised around a whole bunch of money and is spoiled. Okay, gotcha. I read it. I got through it. It's okay. We're good. Yeah. That's good. That's good. You know, a lot of rich people you don't even realize are rich. This is one of the really interesting things. Most rich people who stay rich don't go around flaunting their wealth. You know, they're driving used cars, or they're driving the same new car that they just bought for a long period of time. Now, buying a new car is actually really bad. A lot of the value leaves that car as soon as you take it off the lot, so I don't recommend it to anybody. But if you just want it, that's up to you. Most of them are still walking around in t-shirts, you know? They're not wearing the fancy suits because why would you? You don't have to. It's just better when you're rich to not have to do those things. So, you know, most rich people aren't actually even that bad. A lot of us want to look at rich people and point fingers at them and say you're the problem, but in all reality, most of them are actually really nice people. And more often than not, they're actually very likely to ask if they ask their friends, hey, do you want to hang out? And they know that they're not as well off as them, they usually end up paying for meals and such. It's very backwards to what we're shown in movies and in TV. You know, the bad guy is always this rich supervillain who has way too much money. But they're actually down to earth for the most part. They're not all bad. That's a way to get robbed. Absolutely, Coral. Absolutely. You go around driving Corvettes, wearing fancy suits, having, you know, a watch that has, whatever, 24 karat gold, and you got a big fat diamond on your finger because you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on an engagement ring. Like, you know, it's like, that's a great way to get robbed. You're absolutely correct. Feel really bad when anyone else pays for my meals. I get that. I get that. I hate it. I hate it a lot. Even like, I mean, like, I don't hate it necessarily when my mom pays for it. I don't love it because I'm 21 and I feel like I should be more self-sufficient, but I'm not. And, you know, no matter the age, you know, my mom taking care of me is something I'm okay with. Now I'm going to take care of her too. So, you know, when I'm rich, if I ever do get rich, I'm hoping I do, because it would be nice. She's gonna have whatever she wants. You know, she mentions like, oh, I wanted, one of her big things is, I really wish I could go to Disney. Because she likes to go. That's like one of her hobbies, I guess. You know, I could just say, okay, yeah, we'll go. That would be nice. You know, we live frugally on some of the other things so that we can treat our parents very well on other parts of life. And that's my whole goal. I don't want like a huge house. I want enough space in it. But but I don't need a huge house. I don't need fancy cars. You know, I can't truthfully think of anything that I'm going to spend a ton of money on besides my initial investment on a house, which is just like I'm buying a big piece of property, putting a house on it that's suitable for me and my wife and possibly kids at that moment. And whatever life we want to build on that property. That's what's going to be the most expensive. That's going to be the most expensive thing I'm probably going to buy. You know, I may want, like, I don't know. I may decide that I need more streaming equipment, but that's only going to cost me at most $10,000 ever. If that's, like, all buying it all at once, where I buy, like, a whole audio setup that supports my music stuff, too. Plus, fancy monitors that are way too nice for anybody, and a really fancy camera, and lighting, and green screen, and double PCs. Like, I can't see myself spending more than $10,000 at once. And I'm already going to have most of that equipment when I ever do an upgrade, so it's like, I'm not, like, going to casually be dropping 10K every week, you know? I'm just living within the means, and then whatever I get on top of that's going into investments and such so that my kids could have a nice college fund. I know not every parent gets a chance to pay for their kids' college, and I don't think every parent should necessarily pay for their kids' college. But if I could, I would. I'd at least help with it. They may have to also... usually, in those cases, I'm inclined to say, you're also going to be working a job. You work a job alongside it, and I'll put some money in it so that you can... If you work a job and you're doing school, I will help you pay for your school. Now, my rule with that money is that you're saving it. If I find out that you're not saving your money and you're not putting it away for a future home, you're not putting it away for a rainy day, you're just spending it recklessly. Like, I don't mind if you spend it occasionally here and there to go out with some friends or you buy a video game. Like, that's perfectly okay. But you're not going to go around acting like you're getting free college and that you don't have a care in the world. Because once I'm done paying for your college, I'm not paying for you to go get a house. I'm not paying for you to go get... you know, I'm not paying for a brand new car for you. Exactly, Spicy. Exactly. Yes. I don't need a fancy cars, but I like the engines. They're like art to me, so I'd pay art prices. That's fair. With that being said, I like cars like older Mustangs, no Ferraris, no Lamborghinis. What I like to call a normie sports car. Okay, I gotcha. Not giving my kids a cent. They need to learn discipline and hard work ethic. Try to invest in them and buy necessary things for them, but if they want $500,000 cars, work for it. Exactly. Not a huge house, just enough space for a swimming pool, cinema room, and bowling alley. I think, like, totally a cinema room. I could see that being nice. One of my friends... This is the first time I've ever seen this. Like, I didn't know you could have, like, a proper movie theater in your house. And I was probably, like, 9 years old. And my friends took me into their basement. And, like, this wasn't just like, okay, we have a projector in here. Like, they did. But they also had, like, several couches. They had recliners. They were nice recliners. They all matched. Like, when I was a kid, it wasn't weird to have mismatched furniture. Now, like, my family, we had 2 couches that looked identical. but we didn't have like a proper furniture set like everybody else. I say everybody else. Most people were poor when I was a kid. But like, and then they had like a step up in the house as well, in the movie room. So like there was multi-layers to it. And they had those little chairs that you sat on for gaming that sat on the floor. I don't know if you guys remember those. They were like $100 a piece or something like that. Crazy, but they had the speakers in the heads. It was crazy. And they didn't think anything of it, and they didn't think anything of us not having it. But it was insane. It was insane. Beanbags? No, the beanbags were nice though. They didn't have any of those. But I do remember having a beanbag chair at one point in time. Beanbag chairs are great. Let's see. To be honest, in a house, I'd want enough room for a pool and a gym. I think a gym would be cool because then I wouldn't have to spend time going to the gym. I could just do the gym at home. There's a lot of privacy there. A pool would be cool. I definitely don't need a bowling alley. But, I don't know. I don't know if I think an outdoor pool is better for the lifestyle I would want to live. To be able to invite friends over and say, hey, let's go swim. I'll fire up the grill and we'll have a barbecue and you know, bring your wife and kids and you know, bring a dessert or something, bring some cookies or a cheesecake and we'll be all set. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm all caught up on chat. First things I'd add if I had extra rooms. That's fair. If I had extra rooms, I don't know. I'd really like to dream up my dream house and maybe build it in Minecraft. I think that'd be cool. Like, I don't know what my dream house would look like. Because honestly, my dream life isn't set in stone. And so that's what's hard to determine what my dream life would look like. I want to wait to really dream what my life would look like until I have a wife who would dream it with me. But the dream house revolves around the two of our dreams, you know? So I don't know. I don't know, like, you know, I could say, oh, I want 10 bedrooms because I need some for guests and, you know, I'm going to have 7 kids, but like, am I actually going to have 7 kids? Like, you know, it's one of those silly things. I don't know if it's silly. You know, I can I will find a way to afford the family that I have. You know, I love the idea of having a large family that we can invite to the house after they've all grown up, and we can have Christmas, and you know, they can even stay in their own childhood rooms too. And you know, actually being friends with all of my kids when they grow up, not just being their dad. It would be cool. It would be really, really cool. Now, you know, a lot of people think 7 is too much. I don't think it's too much. I'm gonna be real. I don't think it's too much. But I understand in these days that probably makes me look a little bit loony to a lot of people. A lot of people have said, man, I feel bad for your wife. And you know what? I respect it. She's not only gotta put up with me, but if we do decide that we're having 7 kids, that's That is a process and a half on her body. And that's not lost on me. That is not lost on me. Let's see. But, you know, I'd settle for lower numbers. I do want at least, I don't know. I don't want to say, like, a number. I know 2 would be good. But the more the merrier. I don't know. An empty... It's okay to have empty moments in life, but I want to fill as much time up as just spending time with family as possible and having a tight-knit family. And, you know, a lot of people came from big families are like, I'm not really close to this person, or I'm not really close to that person, but the idea I have in my head is it's not going to be that big of a gap, you know? Like, for example, like, by the time I was born, my sister would have already been, like, she probably would have been 13. By the time I have, like, any memory of her, you know, she's already almost off to college. And, you know, I don't blame my parents for this at all. You know, they lived within their means. It was one of those things, though, you know, I didn't get to have a lot of time to bond with my sister as a kid until much later. And now as an adult, like, we're pretty good. We're chill. You know, we didn't have that time together necessarily that otherwise would have created some good memories. I want a house that will create memories, or allow for good memories to be created, you know? I want a staircase that my kids can slide down on in their boxes, their cardboard boxes. And is that dangerous? Absolutely. And am I going to encourage it? Oh, I definitely am. You know, we're gonna have a nice yard where they can build or dig up the dirt because there's not a whole irrigation system underneath the yard, so that they can create little dirt jumps for them to ride their bikes on. I'm gonna spoil them, but I'm gonna try not to. It's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really, 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 really hard. You know, I'm not gonna just, like, do everything for them, you know. If they ask for the next gaming console, we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna say, do you really need, you know, a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 6? Do you really need, all the consoles plus a PC? And also, we're gonna talk about what you're gonna do to earn those things. Because just because I can afford it doesn't mean you deserve it, you know? And that's not me withholding or being rude to my child. It's actually teaching them a valuable lesson. You want something, you work for it. You know, everything in my life up to this point has been worked for in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be my dad working his butt off to make sure that there's food on the table, or my mom working to figure out where that money goes so that we can go and do fun things and that we can have a good Christmas, or me working at Walmart so that I could retire for 4 years now and stream and just do whatever I want. And now with streaming, you know, doing whatever I can to make this work, because right now it's my only option because nobody's answering their dang phone. You know, sometimes we work hard, and I don't want that to be lost on my kids, you know. When they turn 16, they'll have the option of getting a job and buying their own consoles and PCs and such. I'll make that expressingly clear to them beforehand. Like, hey, you're now responsible for any new phone upgrades. If you want one, you can't just ask me to go buy you a new phone. I'm going to upgrade it when I want to. You will get it when you get it. Now, when you turn 18, that's all on you. You are buying your own phone, whenever. You are responsible for your own phone at 8. But, you know, I'll buy it up to a certain point. But you're probably getting hand-me-downs up until then. We're not wasting phones. You know, whenever I upgrade my phone or my wife upgrades hers, then we'll hand it down to the next person in line for a phone. And I'm not saying her and I are gonna have the nicest phones ever. No, I'm still rocking an iPhone 12 mini, okay? They just announced, like, what, the iPhone 17? Like, I'm 5 phones behind. Like, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not necessarily gonna buy the latest and greatest PC parts or the most sick guitar ever, even though that would be really fun. I would love to have a music room. That's something on my list. Like a nice sized piano. I would be willing to spoil my family a little bit on that. 'Cause a name for certain you know, certain pianos are worth a little bit more and they sound different, and you should actually pay good money for pianos. A nice piano for the family, several guitars, you know, actually good sound systems so that electric guitars don't sound junky. You know, that might be the guilty thing that I spend a lot on because those do cost a lot. But that's only if I'm going to be rich. You know, I'm probably not going to be rich. Statistically speaking, I probably will not. But, you know, I think it's fun to dream for one, but two, there's a shot. When there's a will, there's a way. And I'm telling this to you guys too, okay? I know I'm talking about me, but I'm telling you guys too. If there's a will, there's a way. If you want something and you work hard for it, you'll get there eventually. Just keep working. May not even get my kids a car. If I do, it's gonna be beat up Honda Civic from one of those Reddit stories. Absolutely. I fully intend on there's going to be 3 cars in my family. There's my car, my wife's car, and then the car for the kids when they're driving. That way they don't junk up my car. They don't junk up my wife's car, because we're gonna probably have different preferences in vehicle. I understand that. And then, you know, they have their car that they can go off and do their things with, and if it gets wrecked, it's not a big deal. If they do wreck it, then they are not welcome to drive the next car that we buy. Unless it's not their fault. If it's their fault, it's absolutely, they're going to work their butt off and buy their own car then. But if it's not their fault, and we understand why it happened, usually parents actually are pretty understanding, then we can work something out. Let's see. I had a library in my childhood home. Not that I used it, but that's awesome. That is really cool, Coral. I know what you're talking about. They had like tiny speakers, like it sounded like you heard them out of aluminum. Yes, those ones. They were in malls when I was a kid. Oddly, really interesting. Real talk. Am I invited to cookout? I think everybody here is invited to the cookout. Outdoor pool in UK can only be used for about 2 weeks a year due to weather. That's fair. That is fair. I don't know where I'll live in the future, but usually here in the US, we have some pretty good summer weeks that are pretty nice. Are you the second oldest? No. I am second youngest. I'm just a young guy. Got 1 sister and 2 older brothers, and then 1 younger brother. It's always fun to brainstorm. Heck yeah. My problem is I would raise my kids like I'm a kid myself with this debit card. Fair enough. Fair enough. As long as you can afford 7, then that's all good. Heck yeah. Childhood memories, I used to slide down the stairs at my aunt's house with all my cousins. Oh, that's awesome. There was a hole in the wall of one of the houses that I lived in because my brother pushed me down the stairs in a box before I was ready. I was still standing. And so, like, I flipped out of it and tumbled down the stairs and put a hole in the wall with my knee. iPhone sucks. Samsung all the way. $1,100 is a stupid amount of money for a phone. So Swift Dude, the phones that you are comparing, you need to remember Samsungs and iPhones are not the same. So, Samsung's first, the operating system sucks. I've said it, okay? Android sucks. It just does. I've had so many issues with Android operating systems. Now, beyond that, we gotta compare apples to apples, okay? Apple iPhone. Okay, we're talking flagship model phone. If we're gonna say $1,100 phone, you gotta compare the Apple iPhone that's $1,100 to the Samsung Android that's also $1,100. Because yes, Samsung also has really expensive phones. So like, you can say as much as you want and crap as much as you want on iPhones, but Samsung also has stupidly expensive phones. My iPhone right here, this one cost me, I think, $500. It's a mini. It's not bad. It works great. It still works. I got it 5 years ago in 2020 when I got my job. Like, I have no issues with iPhone. Before this, I was rocking an iPhone 6S. That phone wasn't even supported by Apple anymore by the time I was done with it. And then my brother used it after me. Like, if you're upgrading every year, it's terrible to buy iPhones. I totally agree. However, you should not be buying a new phone every year, guys. Okay? I'm not here to judge you, but I'm here to judge you right now. If you're buying a new phone every year, you're the problem. You are the problem. Phones should only be upgraded, like, when you need to. If your phone goes kaput on you, if your phone isn't being supported anymore, if it's getting too slow, if it costs more to repair than it's worth, then you get a new phone. Now, that all said, if you are prone to breaking a phone, you should probably go with an Android, a cheaper Android. I've never cracked my screen, and I can show you guys here. I'm not careless. My phone case literally pops right off like that because it is falling apart. The back is just fine, okay? Can I turn that towards the front? Just fine. I've never cracked this thing. I've dropped it on concrete floors several times. Y'all are falling for the propaganda. They're not fragile things. It's made of titanium, guys. It's made of titanium. Apple has also began using a ton of AI, which is harming the environment, just saying. I see what you're saying. However, I'm here to tell you, Samsung is also investing in AI. There's no difference between the companies, in all honesty. If we're gonna talk morals, they're all terrible. Not as much as Apple. So is Google. See, Coral gets hit. All of them are terrible. It doesn't matter how much they're doing it. If they're doing it, they're part of the problem. So, as much as we'd like to say AI bad, don't support companies that use AI, you gotta take the speck or even the whole plank out of your own eye before you say that. Because every company is using AI. So this was a big thing at Walmart. A lot of people didn't like Walmart saying anything about certain politics. People didn't like Walmart because of the toilet paper shortage and them not doing enough about it. So they said, we're not going to shop at Walmart. Okay? This happened. Now, you ready for this? That was true of every store. Every single store. It didn't matter if you were going to Aldi's, Kroger. It didn't matter if you were going to Food Lion or what's the really popular one? The one with the like really cheap hot dogs. Costco. You know, it didn't matter. It was true across the board, but people hated on Walmart. Why? Because they were popular. And they looked at them as like some evil entity just because that's where everybody went. Now, that all said, yes, there are some companies that do stuff more than others. But if we're going to say AI is bad and it's harmful to the environment, just because Samsung isn't as flamboyant about their use of AI does not mean they're not doing it as much as Apple. Because we all know what they're doing behind the scenes. They're doing the same exact stuff as Apple. In fact, they're probably trying to catch up to Apple. Everybody's going AI. It doesn't matter what we say or do. Unless you can actually tell me that you're going to go with a phone or a company that does not do any AI whatsoever, you are inadvertently supporting the AI industry. Now, that's not to condemn any of you, because I'm still going to buy an Apple iPhone. It's not as big of an important issue to me personally. I understand some people's stance on it, and I think it's perfectly fair. If you don't like AI, that's okay. If you don't like the environmental harm, that's okay. I get it. I don't love that stuff either, but I like my Apple iPhone more. And is that sad? Probably. But until somebody can hand me a device that is as good as my Apple iPhone that does not use any AI whatsoever, I'm going to stick with my iPhone. I'm sorry. This is the truth with Disney, too. People are like, I'm going to boycott Disney because trash movies. And then, you know, they don't ever actually boycott Disney because of trash movies. See, you know, I think you guys are starting to get it here. Android's App Store is better than Apple's. Android's App Store is full of a whole bunch of crap. The Google Play Store is terrible. I'm not even going to pull a punch on that one. Most of the apps on the Play Store are actually just scams that take your data and sell it off. And I mean, most companies do that anyway. But Apple has a better quality assurance, in my opinion. Sorry, I missed you at the beginning. No worries, Scrap. It's good to see you. Welcome on in. You are correct, sir. We use AI. Everybody uses it. Everybody uses it. Let's see. I need to catch up. My iPhone was too much. I agree. Swift to Android, much better OS than Apple's. I firmly disagree. Android is so laggy, it's unresponsive, and maybe that was because I was using it, like, I don't know, probably 7 years ago at this point. Maybe it's better now. I hope it's better now, but it wasn't great when I used it. The problem is all my friends have iPhones, so it changes the group chat to SMS when they add Androids. I see. That's fair. I just use a different chat app if I have an Android user. In all honesty, Apple can't make computers or laptops. I don't like Apple computers. I see why people do like them. I do not, though. For older people, they're great. They're very simple and less easy to break. I can flip from Android to iOS super easily from what I use my phone, as long as I can connect to cell towers and calls. It works for me. My phone for nothing else except texting and calling. See, that's the thing, though. I don't need to connect my phone to anything necessarily. Except, like you said, texting and calling. However, the other things that I do use my phone for, I have found Apple to be more consistent on. It is a consistently good experience with Apple. Let's see, Mac's worse on OS on computers. Whether you do it on Discord, Instagram, iMessage, SMS, WhatsApp. Fair enough. Apple also has begun using. I read that. I cracked my screen on my iPhone 11. Oof, that's a big problem. Because unfortunately, I don't think Apple. Well, you might be able to replace it yourself. I don't think Apple will repair it though. And it might be too expensive. I don't know. Which actually, for legal reasons, I'm back on the 11. I see. Okay. Let's see. Pixel phones do look pretty good. Never used one though. I've heard they're great. I don't personally love Pixel. I've heard there's a couple of problems with them, and that was from one of my close friends. However, one of my other close friends, PC Gus, he uses a Pixel. He likes Pixels. So I think ultimately it does go down to preference. As much as I am making a hard stance on this, I'm doing it out of silliness. Apple Music sucks. Everyone agrees on that one. I don't think anybody uses Apple Music, to be honest. But does Android have their own music? Like, I guess like YouTube Music. They just use Google's stuff. But like, that's an option on iPhone. It's not the default option. But Apple has created all these default options that you can use or you can delete. You don't have to use them. But you can use Spotify. You can use Amazon Music. You can use YouTube Music. You can use whatever you want. That's what's kind of nice. Nobody uses the Google Pixel phone. Gus does. We use AI. You are correct, sir. Pixel phones do look pretty good. Never used one though. Costco. The legal reasons are my dad had to film all of his business partners' calls, incriminating calls. Oh. Oh, snap. That is unfortunate. Android App Store is better than Apple. Here's my thing. It's all the same to me. We have plateaued as far as phone development goes. It is really preference, and due to me not having a preference, I don't care. That's fair. I will say, from what I've heard, Apple Watch is better than most other smartwatches. Now, if you don't like smartwatches, it's probably no good to you anyway. But that being said, I can only use my Apple Watch with my iPhone. When you're really into the family of products, that does help a little bit. I'm not into Apple computers. Probably will never buy one. If I do, it'll probably be a Mac just for testing purposes for Omnia. But I don't have a use for it. I've liked my iPad. It still works. It's outdated by a long shot, but I still watch Twitch streams on there when I'm on the road. I still use it to watch YouTube. It's a great device. iPads are so nice. I love my iWatch. Like I said, I've had this for 5 years. No issues with it. Keeps my heart rate in check. Lets me know if I've had a low heart rate for the day or for when I was asleep. It makes sure that I wake up if it thinks that it's too low. I've had it vibrate like aggressively, telling me heart rate too low, heart rate too low. I don't think I was gonna die, but it at least was like, hey, chill out, dude. Like, stop chilling out. Now, the AirPod Pros, I am not sure about those. I've never used them. My mom loves hers. But I've never used any personally. I can't stay long. Just want to say hi. No worries, Scrap. Good to see you. Hope you did well or are doing well. And go get some sleep if you can. Let's see. Apple Music sucks. Everyone can agree on that. Not gonna lie, I blindly trust the Gemini overviews. Honestly, for the most part, it's actually kind of correct. There are times where it is very wrong, but most of the time it's correct. Android is very customizable and easy to use, third-party apps and stuff. But why do you need to customize it and use third-party apps? That's my thing. I don't have to jailbreak my device. My iPhone works just fine out of the box. I don't have to do any weird things by plugging it into my computer and downloading things onto my Android. I don't have to download things off the web onto my phone. I want it to just work. So iPhone just works. That's what's nice for me. I don't have to do anything to it. Even back then, you compare flagship Android to flagship iOS. I've not experienced lag or inconsistencies except for the iPhone 4S and iOS 7. Fair enough. The LCD is cheap, and I'm just too lazy to repair it, so it still works. That's fair. I use Apple Music, but that's because I bought all my music on iTunes back in the day, or I imported my CDs to iTunes. That's fair. Apple Music is a carryover of iTunes. iTunes was the in thing. If you wanted to buy anything digital or you got a digital code, it was for iTunes. That's where you own your music. A lot of people still use it for that if they're using their old music. That's a very good point, Spicy. YouTube Music is butt crack. Spotify is so annoying without a subscription, though. That's fair. I use Spotify without a subscription. I like it because I do get a lot of the 30 minutes ad-free listening, so it works out pretty okay for me. Spotify with subscription is great, though. I hate watches in general. That's fair. If you're not a watch person, iWatch is terrible. I don't even use it to really tell time. I still look at it for time if somebody asks me. I can control my music from it. I can set timers. I can get access to the robot that shall not be named. What else? I check my... I really use it predominantly to check my heart rate. I need to get a newer watch. Because they have some that run EKGs, which are very beneficial to people like me. And then some of them also tell your blood oxygen and your wrist temperature, all of which would be godsends for me, really. So I'm kind of debating on seeing if I can save up for a new one or something. Although if I can get certain diagnoses, I think I can get my insurance to pay for it. So we'll see. I love bankrupting the insurance companies. That's all my goal is these days. There's like a really bad itch in the corner of my mouth. Okay. I'll say, as someone who feels like it's stupid to buy into ecosystems, I really love AirPod Pros. It's the only ANC that doesn't make me nauseous. Audio quality isn't the most accurate. That's fair. AirPod Pros can be uncomfortable. I like AirPods 4 much better. That's fair. I haven't heard much about the AirPods in all honesty. I know my mom likes hers. She likes the sound canceling, but she also likes the voice filtering because sometimes it's loud and she wants to just watch something. So she can turn on noise canceling and then turn on her show. Or if she's just trying to sit down and do something and she doesn't want to hear the lawnmower outside, but she still wants to be able to hear when we walk into the room and ask her a question, she can, and it's great. It's awesome. I don't mix with them. I use them for recreational music listening. That's absolutely the best way to use them. Absolutely. Apple alarm noises are annoying. You can set your own alarm noise. I think you're just you're nitpicking. You're nitpicking, Swift, dude. Like, you just hate it because it's popular. Hold up. I will play you an alarm sound. I want to torment you. Oh, these are different. Hang on. This is the default. You happy yet, Swiftu? You happy? They're not that bad, honestly. I don't know. You can set your own custom alarms though. It's not hard. It's so annoying. Outside of the US, some apps you can't access, like HomeKit. I don't use HomeKit personally, but I could see if you do need the app, then like sure. Because, and, LimeWire music for me. Old. Old. I think that's an old person thing, right? LimeWire? That sounds like it to me. It's vaguely familiar. Food time lurk. Thank you for the lurks, 50. Appreciate it. What in the world is an iWatch? It is Apple's smartwatch line. I don't know what generation they're on. It might be 6 now. HomeKits is for home automation. I see. I don't do home automation, but I also don't own the home. So that probably doesn't help with it. Maybe at some point I would. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that isn't available outside the US. There must be some sort of legal reason for it, because otherwise there's no reason for them to do that. Because it's just a money... It's a money-making opportunity to sell in the European market. Like, there are plenty of Europeans who would buy more Apple Home stuff. I don't know. Our entire home is automated. Okay, I gotcha. They're on Gen 11? Seriously? Wow, I am way out of the loop on those. The radio frequencies, the FCC doesn't like them. Ah, okay. Sorry, a big list of how to turn on water and lights for the cat sitter when we're away. Yeah, I mean, if it's not... It can be self-explanatory. Once you know what you're doing, it's really easy. It's when you don't know that it's automated that it gets, like, really confusing. So you're like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, it took me a couple minutes to even get used to our Alexa. We have an Amazon Alexa, and my mom uses it for grocery list, and it's pretty nice. It works good. However, it took me a while to get used to trying to talk to it because of just I didn't know what to say to it in order to make it do exactly what I needed it to do. So, like, you have to use certain phraseology sometimes. It's not a genius yet. Now it's gotten a lot better. It understands several phrases. So, like, when you say Walmart grocery, it understands that it's talking about the Walmart grocery list. You don't have to say, add something to my shopping list, and then it tell you which one, and then you tell it which shopping list, and then telling what you want to add to it. You know, that's a whole process. It's not a fun process. You'd be better off writing it on your phone. Now you can just say, add milk to Walmart grocery, and then it says, I've added milk to Walmart grocery. Can I do anything else for you? Or usually it doesn't say anything else. It says, added milk to Walmart grocery. And then it just turns off after a couple seconds, or you tell it that'll be all, and it's done. They've really come a long way with those things. Home assistants are great. Especially if you do hook them up to lights and such. Like, if you were in the living room, for example, in my living room anyway, the only way to turn off the light is to stand up and pull the string on the fan, or flip the switch and then turn off the ceiling fan too. But if you don't want to stand up because you're, like, in the middle of a movie or something like that, you want to tell it, hey, Alexa, turn off the lights. We don't have smart lights, but we could get them, and they would work with our Alexa just fine. I see a lot of benefit in them. They're really, really cool. Now I really would like to, at some point, like when I'm a lot older and I have my own home, I think those automatic lights that turn on and off when you enter the room are really cool. But you know, I don't know how practical they really are. But they are cool. They are really cool. I want to make sure I'm all caught up. I use my Apple Watch for heart rate and notifications. Oh, the notifications are great. That's actually why I bought mine. Was when I was working at Walmart, they really kept telling me don't get on your phone, which is fair. I just wish they told that to everybody and actually held them to that standard. They told me and I was like, I get it. I'm going to be a good employee and not be on my phone. So I couldn't check my phone all the time. And sometimes my mom would send me texts saying like, hey, can you get milk before you leave? Can you get some lunch meat before you leave for the day? Do you mind quickly trying to pick up this or that? Or, hey, I can't bring you lunch today. Go ahead and just go to the deli and pick something up there. You know, there was a lot of those moments. And so I couldn't see my phone because of that. Now, they couldn't tell me to not look at my phone for a text message, but I felt bad for doing it. So I bought the watch, and I could quickly check it really fast. And, you know, the customers wouldn't know any better. So I wasn't just standing there looking at it and scrolling through it all. Like, I was looking at it for a purpose, a very brief purpose, and then I moved on from there. If I saw it was a Facebook notification, I just put my hand back down. I didn't even need to read it. If I saw it was a text message, I would read it. It was nice. It was really nice. That's why I can describe my Apple Watch usage as like a pager from the 90s. That's a good point, yeah. You can see, you can look at it and you go, okay, somebody needs me. I'll get to my phone then. The AirPods Pro 3 have a heart rate feature, which is really cool. And I know people that would be really useful. Really? That is cool. My custom alarm is an AI King song. Which one? Which one? My mom asked me a question about it multiple times. That's crazy. It was an old school file sharing back in the day. Ah, okay, I gotcha. Our entire home is automated. Radio frequencies back in the Napster days. Oh boy. That's why it's blocked off in Canada too. Interesting, okay. So I'm curious why the US doesn't really have issues with it, but other countries do. Do they just utilize those frequencies for their, like, national broadcasting systems? Do they try to limit the radio waves throughout the air for health reasons? Pretty sure it's fine to run radio frequencies everywhere, no matter what, but I don't know. I say no matter what. There are certain radio frequencies that are bad for long-term exposure, but I don't know. My assistant is set up to turn off all my lights when there's no iPhone in the house. I will say Apple's ecosystem makes it so easy as the tech guy who explains stuff to my family. Everyone in my family has an iPhone, so if there's no known family iPhones in the house, lights turn off. That's actually really helpful. Nice to have all the blinds on, home automation. Oh, that is good. That is really good, yes. I never thought about that, but yeah, automated blinds are really nice. This dude better come back from that lurk. I hope so. I don't remember which AI King song it was. All I know is it was one I asked Swiftu how he made his. Oh, okay. Hang on. It probably may have been thick of it, even. I don't know. It could have. Well, I don't know. I'm curious which one it is now. It could have even been. Was it one of the Eminem ones by chance? Hearing me rap God was kind of crazy, but that was a thing. The way our bands are legally speaking, you need to be a ham radio operator to use those frequencies out of the US. People break the law, including LTT, but hey, I don't snitch. That's fair. That's interesting that other countries are so strict about that. Huh. Thick of it. Okay, I gotcha. Thick of it was a, that was a good one. That was a good one. I ran into it a couple days ago, and I didn't turn it off. I was like, oh, thick of it. I haven't heard this song in forever. I'm not mad. Not necessarily other countries being strict, it's more the US saying, this is our radio territory, don't screw with it. Oh, okay, I see. I see. So basically the only other way to do it would be Apple would have to change that country's home assistant, essentially, into being a different frequency, if they could. So that way it wouldn't... That way the US couldn't be mad at them, essentially. I made your AI version... I mean, your AI version's KSI's. I'll take that as a compliment. I'll take that as a compliment. Hello, Mountain Vera. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. The whole standard would have to switch frequencies outside of the US. Jeez. Interesting. The more you know. That makes sense, though, why people would have to, you know, if they wanted to have access to HomeKit, they would have to, you know, go through alternative means. That totally makes sense. Okay. The bar is set really low. Fun fact, I'm actually a certified ham radio operator. Are you actually? The random spicy lore kind of goes crazy. Jeez. Might as well tear these out while I'm here. I was gonna end stream like probably 30 minutes ago now. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, I remember why. Because we started talking about Apple and people hating on them. So I felt the need to defend my company a little bit. Not because like I'm an Apple fanboy. But I will not stand for senseless speech on Apple, okay guys? They're not as bad as people say, I promise. I would give you my call sign, but the FCC has my address, full name, and date of birth just hanging out there for some weird reason, and legally I can't take it down. Oof. That's fair. I respect... I respect that, that you don't want to dox yourself. That's, pretty reasonable, actually. Fun little fact in its lore goes crazy. I know. It would be the equivalent of me saying, oh, by the way, guys, I'm a pilot. Or I have my pilot's license. Like, it would be insane. And say that it's dirt. Okay, I see. Actually, a crop duster pilot as well. Can't do anything commercial. What? You're kidding. You're kidding, right? There's no way. There is no way. I mean, knowing generally where you live, I could see it being possible. But, like, there's no way. No, my uncle straight up paid the course oh my gosh, dude. Wow. Well. Sounds like I need to, like, get busy and actually put some accomplishments to my own name. I don't mean to brag, but I am going to be the developer of the second largest indie game of the whole world. Although I would argue it could be bigger than Minecraft. Not by sales. I don't think I'll ever outsell Minecraft. But I do think by scope comparison, it is a bigger game than Minecraft. So, like, you know, I guess there's that. Like, I can't even claim that as, like, a thing I actually am yet. Like, that's just something in the future that I'm currently working on. Need to up my game. Dang, I know. The ironic part is I can't really drive. True. You can't legally drive. So, but you can crop dust. Not to brag, guys, but I can solve a 2x2 Rubik's Cube. God doesn't. Hey, that is cool. Anybody who can cube, they're pretty cool. I'm not a good cuber. I don't know what I'm doing. I have one in my closet. Yeah, it's in. Yeah, I have one in the closet. I just don't know how to solve it. The count if it's the 1x1. I've actually been able to solve a 4x4 at once. I have solved the 3x3 at one point, but I'm not sure how to do it again, is the thing. And then also, I've done a 2x2, but anything beyond those? Nope. Not a chance. Not a chance. I'm hungry. Why did I get hungry all of a sudden? 10:20. I could eat waffles tonight. Possibly. I could eat. Waffles kind of do sound good. I don't know, it's been a while since I've been hungry. Like, I've been getting hungry again lately, so that's good. I just don't know what caused me to stop getting hungry for a while. And unfortunately, nobody really seems to. But, you know, I've got some doctors who might be able to figure it out now. Pizza's good. Unfortunately, I don't have any pizza, though. Well, I could make some. But then I'd have everybody flocking around me going, "Ooh, you're making pizza, well, make me some, too." And it's like, well, I can only make enough for 2 people right now. And, you know, I'd probably get in trouble by my mom. She just bought a whole bunch of food for us to make while she's gone, and I think pizza was a part of that. See, this is why living with your parents sucks. No, it doesn't actually. It's not that bad. It's just I never know what I can and can't eat because I don't know what the plan is. Which admittedly isn't my fault. If she would just communicate the plan with me, then we would be fine. Am I totally blaming my mom for this? Yes, yes I am. Waffles. I actually know what I'm doing for a 1x1, 2x2, and 3x3. If I couldn't solve a 1x1, I'd actually... I've never seen a 1x1. I'm assuming it sounds as easy as it sounds, but I don't know. Three. I'm gonna knock all these out, I think, and then we'll wrap up stream. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to say something and then be a liar. Oh. There's only a couple more of the machines. Actually, there's a lot more than I thought. I thought there's only 3 more, but there's like 6. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. Honestly, I'm really thinking about selling stocks and buying a few property. Or buying a property. My sister's boyfriend's mom is in real estate. She told me there's a few properties that are only that are for sale. They're about 250K at 17 acres. Theoretically, I can make that from Spicy Records. The other contract jobs in about 2 years. Yeah, that would be great. And I mean, if you already have the money in stocks for that, selling those so that you can avoid taking out a mortgage on that, and then, like you said, making all that back on contract work and Spicy Records, you could probably, like I said, make that back in 2 years. You could feasibly put a lot of that back into investments after you make it back as well, so it wouldn't be too bad. I don't know, it's rare to find property at a reasonable price. I don't know what's reasonable anymore. I haven't looked, and it all depends on area too, of course, you know. Like, if you are looking in a city, it's gonna be, you know, probably 3 times the amount that it would be in a rural area. Whereas if you're looking, you know, in a densely populated state, or just California, let's just say California, it's going to be significantly more expensive there as well. Just because the cost of living is higher there as well. So, you know, property and prices, I try not to give too much opinion on, just because there is so much, there is so much variability there. But that all said, that sounds like a decent price to me. 17 acres, kind of decent, pretty decent, really. Depends on what you're wanting to do with it, that's for sure. It's actually really good if you're not intending to do a ton on there. Just want a place to live. Then you actually have more than enough there. Pretty good. I have about 3/4 of the money. Okay. So you wouldn't even have to take out a big loan if you did just decide to do a loan. That's not too bad then. I mean, if it's something that you're really thinking you want, then I would say you should go for it. Because housing and property is only going to get more expensive more than likely. So that is part of the investment of buying property, is that it will go back up in price eventually. So you don't have to worry about you don't gotta worry about losing investment as long as you keep up with the property. If you don't keep up with the property and you let it fall into ruin, that's where it starts to get to being problematic. But knowing you take good care of stuff, so I imagine you're not gonna let it just rot as a piece of property. Hello, Blue. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. California mention. California mention. Yeah. I have some beef with California. I like it. It's a pretty place. I just think it's so insanely expensive is all. And I get it. Part of it is that they get paid a lot more when they go there. And so they get paid a lot to live there. They get paid a lot because they have to be paid a lot to live there. So everything costs more because everybody has more money. It's not necessarily that they have more money, they just have more money they can spend in our local economies than what we could spend in theirs. It's a place. It's a very beautiful place. I have been. Up, up. No. Okay. And if I do decide to have kids and get married, then we get a new house and charge rent on the house I'm looking at and try to recoup some of the cost on a larger house. Absolutely, dude. You are looking at it from all the right angles. You would do fine. You would do fine with that. I think it's wise of you to think of a possible future as well. Regardless of whether or not you're leaning that direction right now, who knows what you might do in the future, you know? Okay. It's something for sure. Oh, heck no. The current property I'm living at is literally being rotted away. The houses are probably going to get condemned in a couple of years, and I just hate to see that. This property in particular is 36 acres, I believe. Oh, jeez. Wow. Yeah, I'd hate to see that happen then. I get that. Oh, I fell. That's for the best. There was some stuff down there that I missed. I had to kind of like mini Neo that almost. Okay. I think that's good. I think. The thing is that it's not my property, and one of the life rules is don't put money into things that aren't yours. That's true. That is true. I totally get that. It's a rough situation to be in for sure, though. Alright, I'm gonna wrap up now because I think I might eat some waffles, maybe? I don't know. And I'm also kind of thinking I need to sleep at some point tonight. And I also want to work on Omnia. So, we'll see. I don't know. I've got a huge to-do list. I'm actually trying to get all those things done, and I'm doing pretty good. So we did a good amount of work today, really. It doesn't feel like we did a lot, but we're starting to smelt the glass. We got a pretty good amount done down there. We finished that layer. And then we also just cleaned out all those flying machines, so it means we could probably finish out the rest of the stand come around on Tuesday. So that'll be good. We can also start digging out here and over here as well. Of course, we also gotta work down there, so that might be kind of our next target. Just kind of finish those up so we can start planning out some building. Why I don't put money in the other people's kids? That's an awful thing to say. No, it's fair. It's fair. I get it. I get it. All right. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all. I'm about to go on a walk and go to bed myself. No worries. Go do that, dude. Go do that. Let's see if I can find anybody for us to raid. Take care of yourself as well, Ellently and Nathan. No problem. Thanks for being here, dude. Appreciate you all. Let's see. Is still alive? And how long does it look like he'll be live? It looks like he'll be live for a little bit longer. All right. We're gonna go say hi to Tactical Slime. He was here earlier, and he was just chilling for a little bit. I think it'd be cool if we went and said hello to him. He's part of the Twitch SMP as well, and I believe he is currently playing on the Twitch SMP. So, hop in the raid, get some free champ points, meet a cool streamer along the way. YouTube, I don't have anyone for you guys, so I'm sorry to say this is the end of the journey for us. Appreciate you all so much for watching. I will catch you guys again tomorrow, hopefully, unless I just am too tired from working. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, more than likely. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you all. Bye-bye.